once again, he said nobody's above the law. Joe Biden did when Trump was convicted on 34 counts, including felonies. But then when it comes to his own family, they are indeed above the law. And they're reminding us every single day that truly, truly, there is nothing that you can do about it to stop them from accomplishing what they want to. Now, that being said, in more interesting news as well, Stephen A. Smith turned the tables on Joe Biden's claim. Listen to this and tell me what you think.
What's your take on the pardon?
You know, the Biden situation disgusted me in terms of the pardon only from this standpoint, Chris. Nobody on the planet, you want to be a cynic and you want to act like you would be offended by something like that if you're one of those people out there, fine. But no one within reason would have a problem with him saying, it's my son. I love him. There's no way I'm sending him to jail. And I have the power to avoid it. Nobody would blame him for that. But that's not where he went. So I didn't have a problem to answer your question directly with the decision that he made to pardon his son. Boo Boo the Fool knew he was going to do that. I don't care who he stood in front of or sat in front of and said that he wasn't going to pardon his son and he was just going to go by the letter of the law. Please, everybody and their grandmother knew he was going to pardon his son. But to come out and to start talking about how it's been a witch hunt and the Department of Justice and others were after him or whoever it was and, you know, the GOP rather was after him. Well, wait a minute. What have y'all been doing with Donald Trump all of these years? Now, you can make an argument about the legitimacy of the cases against Donald Trump compared to what wasn't legitimate, et cetera. That's not the point. The point is it was clearly politicized. You had folks on the left who were hell-bent on going after Donald Trump because they were determined to make sure that he couldn't run for re-election or that these elements would get in the way of him possibly winning re-election. And now we know why more than ever, because they weren't confident they would ever be able to beat him. He'd been a Republican nominee since 2016. He beat Hillary Clinton with the Electoral College vote. He wouldn't concede defeat in 2020, but he did receive over 74 million votes at that particular moment in time. And then you fast forward 4 years later, despite the 34 felony convictions, the 2 impeachments, the bevy of crimes that he had been accused of, the Republican voters out there, the conservative voters out there, and a lot of independents from various communities said, he's the guy we want, and I've said it on many, many occasions. It wasn't about him. Just like it wasn't about Biden in 2020, it was more against Trump. In this particular instance, it was an indictment against the Biden administration, what had been going on for the last 4 years. Some of the things going on with the border, obviously inflation, of course, crime in the streets, of course, woke and cancel culture and all of that, it all played a role. And so for him to come out and to talk about that this was a witch hunt when clearly it could be argued that's exactly what you were doing to Donald Trump, or you assisted in doing, seems beyond hypocritical. And that was what disgusted me. It wasn't his decision. It wasn't him pardoning his son. It was the weak, pathetic explanation that he gave, which has most critics just shaking their heads and raising their eyebrows and saying, what nerve you have.
Yeah, and what nerve does he have? I mean, it's pretty ridiculous to be that blatant of a liar. But I mean, this is the guy who got us involved in a Ukraine war, right? Continually got this escalatory war in Gaza. And then, you know, basically pretended like he won the presidency, which we know he did not do. Now, that being said, we're obviously entering into a new era in American history as people feel confident and optimistic. But in my opinion, we can't let our guard down. We can't take anything for granted. That's why I have an emergency food kit from my Patriot Supply. Right now, you can get their 3-month emergency food kit shipped directly to your door in as little as a day. It comes with delicious foods like creamy stroganoff, honey wheat bread, and chili mac. The entire kit offers over 2,000 calories every day, plus the kit lasts up to 25 years on the shelf. Who knows what our country will look like then? But when that day comes, you'll be ready. Go to preparewithvnn.com now to order your 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. That's preparewithvnn.com, PREPAREWITH, VNN.com to order your 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. The link's on the screen and in the description. Check it out today.